Everyone, I'm here tonight as Module 2 closes, and I wanted to do a quick video of the assignments overview. I want to give you as much information as I can on the assignments so that you can work seamlessly through the modules and the assignments. Before I do that, I want to catch up on a couple of things, specifically the Wordle from Module 1 and a little bit about the course application week. As I record this, I'm going to be moving around the Blackboard site. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and enter the modules and go to the presentation for Module 2 because that's where you would find the Wordle from the prior module. So here we go. It's going to open up. And here it is. I've also posted it in the announcements section as well. But as we look at the words in the Wordle for Module 1, you can see the themes of prior knowledge, culture, relationships. Those are key. And I wanted to comment that you are all doing such a wonderful job weaving the themes into your responses relative to native language acquisition and the role of native language and culture. I can see that foundations class coming through, and I love the way that you are questioning and formulating your own opinions about native language instruction and culture. Those questions are supposed to be reaching questions, things that you have to think about to formulate using the information that you have received thus far. You are really a great group, and it is really fun seeing both classes because there are some great ideas and wonderful perspectives. So you're really doing a nice job dealing with all of that and the realities of teaching and learning today. So as I said in the presentation, I just moved this slide up, that next week is course application week. And it's just a week to give you a break from Blackboard because we were trained on modules, and as an instructor I just found it, as a student I found it very taxing. So I wanted to give you a week to just look up. It is a week to think about what you've learned and take a look at kids and whatever you think has applied. And if you've just nothing clicks, just say it. I just want to sort of give you a little chance to breathe here. You'll complete a quick blog entry about the application week, and that's just a dipstick to see what applied and what your thoughts are. And then I said I would post an assignment organization resource, and that is what I'm doing right now. So if you go over to the course, and this would happen. I'm going to just move it a little for a minute to get back to it. You can go here to rubrics and examples under assignments, and what I've done is, and maybe some of you have looked at this already, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows they're here. Here is an overview of the Danielson assignment, and the table mats are looking great. I will look at them again obviously at the end of Module 2. I want to make sure though that you go back to those Padlets as you're creating your units and assignments. I used to do a blog with that, but I just decided to synthesize it through Danielson. But I really would hope that you go back to those Padlets and incorporate some of those strategies in your unit plan. So here is the Danielson framework, and then I'm not going to open these, I just want you to know they're here. there is instructions and rubrics, and there is a sample reflection, okay? And then I did the same for key practices, and it's okay if you don't, some of them just aren't in your wheelhouse or whatever. These are big picture things. Some of you have established programs and some of you have emerging programs. So it's just to give you some background knowledge as you develop your programs. And again, here is the reflection, instructions, and rubric. And here is a sample reflection. Some of you are still struggling a little bit with that, so you can look one up. And you're struggling with it. I'm good with it. You guys are really hard on yourselves, but here is that. And then I put a couple of action plan samples that you can look at so you know where you're going in the end. The student profile overview, I did an announcement on that, but here are the steps, and I know that some of you were concerned about the survey. It's great if you use it, but you can just take questions from it. I just wanted you to have a resource to get that language story. And some of those assignments are starting to come in and they look great. So no worries there, but again, here is the assignment rubric and a sample assignment. Here is the unit plan overview, and we are going to get into this now. The unit plan is a performance assessment that requires you to apply what you have learned in the modules to your teaching and learning context. You will modify a unit plan to include the WIDA standards, language objectives, vocabulary and supports for each content objective. We haven't gotten into that yet. And you will modify 2 of the objectives in the unit to include appropriate activities for students at 2 levels of language acquisition and using at least 2 of the domains. And you're going to learn all about that in Module 3 and 4. So let's get into it just to give you a little bit of perspective on an end point here. So here is the rubric, and you can read it. I will go through this at length another time. I just wanted you to take a look at it, and then this gives you the specifics, and then this gives you ways to modify. So by domains, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, by levels of language acquisition. 3, 4, and 5 we just covered in Module 2, SIOP, Classroom Instruction Strategies and Poverty. And then in Module 3 you'll learn about language functions and supports. So you get 10 points for adding all of this here, and that would be content vocabulary as well as language vocabulary, functions, and forms. And you'll get ideas from this from the WIDA standards. You will add those 2 content objectives, and you will modify them for 2 different levels of language acquisition, and you will have to say what domains are involved. And then last, you will have to provide materials. So let's look at an assignment just so you can see what we're talking about here. So here is a unit, and I will provide a template for you, and it's pretty straightforward. This is a 6th grade math unit on units and ratios. It's got the Common Core standards. You will add all of the green things if they are not in the unit you pick. WIDA standards, big ideas, enduring understandings, whatever you call them. And then here's content vocabulary, which you're used to seeing, but then language vocabulary. What is the language students need to use in order to talk or write or listen to information about the content? And what are their language functions? What are they going to be doing? Sequencing, agreeing, disagreeing. And then here are the 2 objectives that you modify. So these are the standard objectives. This one has been modified for level 4 and 5 using listening, speaking, reading. They're bolded. These are 1 and 2 levels, listening, speaking, reading, and then you'll do that for two objectives. And in these samples, I've underlined the language function, paraphrasing here, and I've italicized the language supports. So more to follow on that, but it's good to just get you focused on those things. And then here are just the other objectives that were in the unit, and then you would provide your materials, resources, and supports. So if you say video up there as in a support, then you have to say what videos here, con, or whatever you decide. So during this week, it would be really beneficial to you to identify 3 units to work with in modules 3 and 4. If you do that, you could modify some of the things that you are going to teach or that you've recently taught, so the next time you teach them, you could add these components. You would get a lot more out of modules 3 and 4 if you have those chosen. And please, by all means, email me with questions. If the question is broad, I will do an announcement so that other folks can, you know, gain knowledge from your great questions. And thank you very much for hanging in there with the technology on the Wordles and the Padlets. I think things are pretty smooth now, but if you're frustrated and you're trying to get something done, just email me the words. I'll throw them in. I don't want you to sweat that. Okay, so have a great week, and Module 3 will be open a week from Monday before 9 a.m. Okay, thank you. Bye.